Hey guys, and welcome back to our episode, uh, Champions of Wellness podcast. And thank you guys for joining us back today. Um, we're trying to get back into it, getting the ball rolling with um, bringing back all consistent episodes to you guys. And I know it seems like we're on this day, we're on that day, but Sunday is going to be our consistent day moving forward at 7 p.m. And I don't know, I don't know about you guys, but daylight savings messed me up a bit. It's kind of unfamiliar to see a little bit of daylight now, but hopefully, a lot of sun can get to us as fast as possible, so we can uh, actually wake up when the sun is coming up and feel really nice and feel really good going into the spring and summer months.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are excited about the warm weather. If you guys are experiencing a time where you're close to staying inside and because of the cold weather, you should enjoy it while it lasts. Like this week has 3 to 4 days, I think, of sunny weather. It might be cold a week later, but enjoy it while it lasts and maybe go take a walk outside. I took a little walk outside for a couple miles and then it was pretty nice, you know. But also, you guys can notice that I have a block blue light glasses on by Block Blue Light. This will reduce all the stress that I'm getting from the blue light from my computer screen, and it will not invite new stress, which I'm accumulating later in the day, which I want to kind of tone down, you know. So this is something that we're going to be wearing. San's going to come in with his new glasses, which are coming in the mail pretty soon, and you'll see the other two guys that are on the Friday podcast with it as well.
Yeah, and one thing that you notice, especially that I noticed clearly from his glasses looking at the screen, is that the screen reflection in his glasses is kind of has like a blue tint to it, and that's how you know you kind of have a good pair of blue light blocking glasses because it's supposed to reflect uh the blue light that's coming through the screen. So the fact that you can see blue as a person looking towards uh him means that it's properly reflecting the blue wavelengths.
Yeah, and I actually noticed yesterday we were watching the UFC event, which was on yesterday around like 9 o'clock, and I wore these glasses for the whole time. And usually, when I'm sitting down or like overly excited of watching something like that, my head feels a little hot, you know, later in the day, and then maybe I can't fall asleep as well or things like that. But I really didn't notice any of that while wearing these glasses during that I don't know 3 hour period. So far it's worked pretty well.
Yeah, and hopefully get mines as soon as possible so all these lights that I'm looking at are not going to be affecting my sleep. But the topic moving on, the topic that we're going to be focusing on and talking about today um is going to be acne. And is acne normal? Is the title of today's episode. We're going to kind of answer that as we move along through the episode. Um, but I kind of want to talk to you guys about my personal experience with acne, if I've had it or not, how I've dealt with it, how I've combated it. So just a little background. I actually never really had acne at all, except for probably two periods in my life. One of that, one of them being when I was going through puberty. Um, and I was suspecting at the time that it was hormonal acne. That's what most people tell you. And I didn't really do any treatments or topicals or anything like that to help fix it. And I guess when I hit around 15 years old or entering high school, that acne actually started to subside and I didn't see it anymore. Which of course was a good thing, and I didn't have to really do anything about it. Um, Fast forward past high school and into college, very recently in what was the month? I think December. And I think you can see in a couple of the podcast episodes, for some reason, I don't know why, was having, I didn't know at the time, but I all of a sudden was having an acne breakout. And I've been the type of person where I've only seen maybe one or two pimples here or there, on the like in the forehead region, but for some reason, out of nowhere, I was like hit with a bunch of like acne all over, not all over my face, but mostly in the forehead region, some around here, and here as well. And I was so confused. I was like, what is going on? And I like it's really frustrating, especially for someone, who's never had it before. And I feel like the first instinct or thing that you want to do is go reach for some skincare, because everyone has a skincare, like most people now I know have a skincare routine, whether it has two or four steps or however many steps, they have one and they have a routine. And I was the type of person who only used just water on my face and was completely fine. So then I went into trying to find like a temporary fix, um through a topical um cleanser. And I don't know, I think I was looking at trying to get a moisturizer as well. I was trying to look crazily into like how to get rid of the acne as fast as possible. And the two things that I ended up using were this cleanser. I don't know. I think it was like a salicylic acid cleanser, and then the other one was like a moisturizer, just a general moisturizer. And what ended up happening was that I got even more a more breakout. So I had just disrupted my skin even more, and I was like doing all the wrong stuff. I was like popping pimples, doing all the stuff that you shouldn't do, and I was just getting more frustrated and more frustrated. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, and I feel like that's when they think it's finally time to like pull the trigger on something like Accutane. But I would suggest that you don't kind of go like the nuclear route, and that you actually fix what is the underlying or root cause, which is going to be 9 times out of 10 your gut. Usually it's a mix of a bunch of different things. But it's mainly going to be three. It's going to be your immune health, your gut health, and then inflammatory responses. So the inflammatory responses also go with um, the first one that I said. And I guess one other thing that you could also add in there as well is deficiencies. Because if you are deficient in any vitamin or mineral whatsoever, um, your body won't have enough energy to repair and heal itself. So if there's something going on, your skin might be um, like the first thing to be damaged. But going back to my experience with it, I was super frustrated, didn't know what to do, and then all I, s- I all of a sudden I just stopped. I put down those two cleansers or the moisturizer. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch my face. All was using on it was water again, and it wasn't actually doing anything. So I was like, "What? I'm in a state of not. I'm in a state of thinking, what should I do? Should I stop doing, wait it out, or go back to pursuing other treatment?" And I actually, for some reason, decided to go on like a 2 day fast, just to do like a little experiment to see what else it could be that was causing um, my skin to flare up. And what I noticed over that 2 day dry fast period was that uh, my pimples like significantly reduced in size, and some of them had started um, like the later stages of the healing process, and they were much shrunken down compared to before the fast, and that was like a telltale signal that it was something related to my gut and what I was eating, because the only thing I had changed in that period was the intake of food. And the intake of, or the lack of intake of food was the thing that was actually clearing up my acne. So I was thinking, wow, it must be the certain foods or certain things that I'm eating that is triggering my acne in the first place. And maybe I've gotten down to a lower state of health that it's really, my body's really trying to detoxify itself. And I started searching up how to heal the gut, how to heal that digestive lining, so that I'm not putting any stress on my gut through the consumption of food, and that I'm also healing it at the same time. So what I ended up doing was drinking bone broth soup, um, which is super healthy and healing for the gut lining because it has fats, collagen, and protein, especially animal protein, that is super, super nutritious for your gut lining. So I kind of was drinking it, and I'm still drinking it pretty religiously every single morning. And slowly, I started to notice things clearing up. And you kind of want to take, like, at least in my personal opinion, you want to take uh, like a minimalistic approach at first if you're trying to heal something like the gut, because if your gut is damaged to a significant level, even eating conventionally healthy foods can really set uh, your acne off or set your gut off. For example, if you eat something, which this actually happened to me. I was eating sweet potato, and I was having really bad digestive issues. Uh, um, and I had to actually wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And I was like, "What is going on?" I thought sweet potato, which is supposed to be one of the healthiest foods that you can eat, I was wondering why something like that would cause an issue for me. And it boiled down to just being that my body or my gut was so damaged to the point that it couldn't process certain foods regardless of if they're healthy or not. So that means you have to eat foods that are uh, minimally stressing the gut lining. So liquid foods, like for example, like the bone broth I was saying, uh, fats like omega 3 fats. So olive oil and fish are also going to be really good and not mess you up too much. Boiled vegetables are also a really good thing that I added that did not cause any discomfort at all. And finally, cooked starches. I would say start off boiled to begin with, and then you can maybe um, progress on to like baked starches or things like that. But the main cooked starch I was eating was rice, and I just did it in a rice cooker. And one thing you actually have to know is when you're preparing your starches, uh, you want to wash them really well, especially if it's rice. Um, you want to wash until it's clear because you're really taking out all the excess toxins or waste that's in the starch during uh, that 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 came in there during the process of the rice being made and harvested. Because you never really know the concentration of certain things like arsenic in your rice, so you really want to wash it well until it runs clear. And then for potatoes, you want to boil them and then toss out the water that you're boiling it a couple of times just to make sure the excess starch is going out. And by doing that, you also reduce the glycemic load of the starch because you kind of got rid of a lot of it through the water. So you notice that it doesn't really affect your stomach as much as if it would if you didn't wash the starch. And
S-
I just kept
Um,
doing that for like wait, what'd you say?
keep going.
And I just kept doing that for couple weeks, and after that, all like I have the skin that I you guys see right now. Of course, it's not perfect, but all I have now is probably um a little spots of hyperpigmentation that's like from the uh from the pimples that were there just existingly before, and I would say like most of it has cleared up within a matter of a month, and you just have to give it that month time period, and I think it's something anyone can really achieve. It it takes a little bit, and it takes a bit of discipline because there are a lot of foods that are really gonna mess you up um if you're not careful.
Yeah, and so where we're talking about the Accutane, a lot of people look at your acne as something that you should treat like a sickness or something like that, that you really want it to go away because it looks like disgusting or whatever you think it is. But it's just a signal that your body is trying to tell you something's wrong in your system that you need to be clearing out or something that you need to change, which has to do with your diet. The first time I got acne was when I was getting going through puberty and all the hormonal imbalances were going on. It was around sophomore year to junior year of high school, and I was having trouble with acne scarring, as well as just acne appearing up when I wasn't really eating too many things that were bothering me, but I wasn't sure what it was. But during that time, it was COVID time, and I noticed that everybody was staying inside. We're in dark rooms, or we're just sitting on our computer all day, not doing anything, and we're not getting any physical activity, which is going to be secreting all the toxins that are building up in your body, all the things that you need to be relieving from yourself, like stress or built up toxins from bad bacteria, which are in your gut and damaging your gut lining, needs to be secreted out. Like your lymphatic system, it only gets activated because you're not being able to move, or you're not getting any movement. Exercising is what's going to be increasing that flow of secretions and also things that will leave your body. I noticed that during that time I was, yeah, really having trouble figuring out what it was, and I was going through all these acne treatments. I was going through different types of company acne treatment companies, and nothing was working, and it was all really just irritating my skin. And I realized that even up to now, that gut plays a direct role in how I'm feeling, and also the acne that shows up on my face, my forehead, and it usually shows up on my face. I don't really have acne anywhere else, but it's really apparent, especially I've noticed this past week. It was our birthday on March 4th, and there was a lot of cake, and going on, and we were just eating a lot of sweets. And the week before, or week or two before, I was really dialing in on my diet and making sure that I was not eating any processed food, and I was making food in my dorm and things like that, and everything was clean, and my face was completely clear and kind of like no acne, just a little bit of scarring from what's healed from before. And up to now, I actually have some pimples on my forehead under here. See, as you can see, I have some pimples on my forehead, and that's literally from this past week of eating all that sweet, unhealthy food. And like every single time I do eat something unhealthy, it shows up the next day on my face. So it's not like it's a bad thing that your body's trying to tell you what's going on. So you can't look at acne as something that you want to just, of course you want to get rid of it, but it's something that you should change on a different level, not looking straight to the acne medications or things like that. Look at it a different perspective and really fix what's going on at the baseline, not jumping to uh, medication or jumping straight to conclusions where you're really just gonna push the problem deeper down.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll see acne situations that are so bad, and people are super sensitive to literally any type of food. And this kind of relates to what we've been talking about on the Bridging the Gap podcast and environmental toxins. And some people are literally at the point where any food that they consume is kind of seen as an allergen just because of how weak and destroyed their uh, immune function, inflammatory response, and their gut lining is. And some of them can have mast cell reactions and things like that. And what I would recommend actually would be to actually get some sunlight, especially not just through your eyes, but also hitting the abdominal region. And that's most important because you're supplying energy to your gut by doing that. And that's one of the spots or places that needs it most when your acne is a problem. And also, I would say um, be able to tolerate the light. So don't if you're someone who's unhealthy, you're not going to be able to tolerate light like in the noon time, especially if it's sunny and hot out. So just stick to the uh, morning uh, sunrise and then nighttime for the sunset. So it's really not going to be something too harsh on your skin. Also, that um, that tells me and brings up the fact that people think the sun is a huge cause of acne distress, and I would like to say right now that that is not true, and you should not be wearing things like SPF because you're literally blocking your skin from receiving the energy from the sun and from the light. And why would you want to do that? Why would you want to block energy coming into your system? Because all that energy is going to do is help keep your body uh, healthy and upgoing so that it has enough energy to supply to fully detoxify whatever it is that is bad in your body. Therefore, it may clear up acne. So I I really like get kind of pissed off when I see people suggesting it because they're doing something that's completely counterintuitive to what they want.
Yeah, and all the bad bacteria that's building up on your body is because of that unhealthy fats or all the seed oils that you're getting from if you're buying out from these restaurants, they're usually using seed oils. So all that bacteria, which doesn't really break down any of the healthy foods that you're eating. The good bacteria in your stomach is what's supposed to break down all that rotten food or things that go in your stomach from the meal you had before, and your bacteria's job is to break down all that food and so that you can extract nutrients and get receive and disperse blood throughout your body and get all the nutrients and energy that you need from it. So all that good bacteria is actually what is going to be preventing all that food from sitting inside your stomach. But if you have a buildup of bad bacteria, which just leaves that food that in your stomach and doesn't really clear it out, then you're just going to have a lot of stress inside of your gut lining, and it's something that you really need to fix by not just eating the healthy foods like San said, but by eating the right foods to repair.
Yeah, so like the I guess the elimination diet or like a FODMAP style diet would probably be the best thing to start out with, and that's pretty much like what I did. I started with a fast, and then kind of did an elimination diet, and then slowly introduced new foods until I found things that were not triggering. And finding trigger foods are probably the best thing you can do, because then you know that, hey, if I eat this thing, then I'm definitely gonna have a reaction, and at least you just know what you can and cannot eat, uh,
Yeah.
depending on what's right for you.
Yeah, and as you can see, where your bacteria doesn't really get to break it down if it's unhealthy, all that food sitting in your stomach will actually leak into your bloodstream, which is not just dispersing all the good nutrients that you need for your body. If you think about how you're feeling during the exercise or just going throughout your normal day, going to work, you're going to feel a lot more tired and a lot more stressed with the fact of you eating unhealthy food and not supplying your gut with the right things like collagen and like San said, bone broth, or even things like there at H Mart. I think there's this jelly thing that's what's it called? It's like a packed with like collagen, but you can have those as well, which are good. They taste pretty good too. It's kind of like jelly, but you can eat have those. Um, but you should be really incorporating things in your diet that are not just for you feeling stronger, too much worrying about the protein and things like that. Worry about the things that are really affecting your energy throughout a workout, and you're going to feel the real big difference in the end. So and also getting more activity throughout the day. Um, like I said, with your blood, you need to be able to have a good circulatory system. Like we actually just learned in anatomy about it. All the blood that kind of runs through your system and gets distributed throughout all the tissues from your heart has to go back, flow back up to your heart. So your blood is sending out is getting sent out by your arteries, which have a lot of pressure. And once it goes through your arms, through your hands, it has to come back up, and without all the nutrients as it's given to the tissues, it has to come back up through your veins. And your veins don't have a lot of pressure. So if you don't have enough flow or enough exercise in your body, which will actually create pressure from your veins to bring the blood back up to your heart, it's not there's not going to be enough flow, and you can actually, like we were talking about earlier, you can develop varicose veins from blood pooling, which is a cause of you not being more active. If you're running around, there's a thing called the skeletal muscle pump, and say your quad muscle and your veins that are going running back up to your heart, all that is doing when you're walking is pumping the blood back up because there's not a lot of pressure in your veins. And what's going to happen if you don't get enough activity throughout your week or whatever? All that blood's just going to pool there, and then it's going to cause damaging to your valves, which catch the blood inside of your veins. So all that pooling is just going to damage it, and you're going to get varicose veins, which will eventually cause more and more issues down the line because when you get older, you won't be able to move as much. And yeah, it goes from there.
So yeah, so exercise is like, so why something like that relates to acne is because that has to do with like nutrient delivery to everywhere else in your body. And usually when there's like nutritional deficiencies, you'll see that um, the physical component doesn't show up to be healthy looking. Um, a skin barrier with a lot of strength and a lot of energy is gonna look really clean, flawless, and spotless, because it has all of the nutrition and energy to sustain itself. And exercise is gonna help deliver all of the nutrients that you're getting from your gut to the rest of your body. But that also brings up how important the gut is, because that's where you're getting all of your nutrition from. And if you are someone who has something like leaky gut, then you have to fix that root problem. Otherwise, you're just gonna cause more and more issues down the line. And acne is actually a good thing because acne shows that your body is uh, or your body's protective systems and immune system is actually working correctly. That it's actually secreting um, toxins and extra things in your body that it doesn't need out through um, a certain avenue. A lot of avenues can be, through urine, through fecal matter, through the skin, through glands. We have all these different places that our body secretes toxins and unwanted materials, and the skin just so happens to be one of them. And sometimes more more acne prone people are people that peop, people who have bodies that prefer to secrete through the skin first, then secrete through other mechanisms. So it means your body's working properly, but it also signifies that it's damaged and that you have to do something about it. Because even though people don't take this perspective, because it's a little harsh, I kind of believe that if you don't fix your acne or certain telltale signs of health like hair, skin and nails, everything you see externally, then down the line you may see many other issues start to arise because the outside of your body is a good teller of if you are someone who's healthy or if you are someone who is not. And changing your health so that you have all these healthy looking markers is going to be really important because down the line, things like heart disease, cancer, or other diseases may arise because you didn't address the issue at the root cause or in your early years of age. So
Yeah,
if you see something like this, don't ignore it, and uh, don't go the route of doing all the topicals like or oral pharmaceuticals because that's only going to mask uh, the symptoms of what you have going on, and it's not going to prevent any other serious disease from approaching later in your
yeah, and what I also noticed was when it was study week, actually this past week, I was studying a lot and staying inside, and it was kind of building up stress because I had a couple exams this week, and I think stress plays a role when you're gonna have acne. Usually, when I'm stressed out or studying or cramming for an exam, or even just staying inside, I'm not getting as much activity as well as me stressing myself out and not getting enough sunlight as well. So I think, especially during times where students are studying and things like that, you should at least go on a little walk. I don't know, throughout the day, or just get a little bit of activity so that your blood gets circulating. You get enough energy, as well as you're going to be able to secrete all the toxins that is built up in your body. When I'm exercising, I feel like when you sweat, all that toxins that's coming out from the sweat is what's getting built up inside your body. So that's another way to relieve that. And stress gets relieved from exercise as well.
life. Yeah, so moving, yeah, like moving also is uh I w- I would say if you're not moving and you only do all the other things, then um, you're not going to be experiencing the full benefits, and it can probably speed up the time of pimple reduction and tissue healing way more compared to if you were just sitting around and not implementing any type of exercise. But I kind of forgot what I was gonna go into next. Uh, there was one other. Oh yeah, caffeine. You should not be drinking caffeine if you're trying to do something like heal your gut. We did an episode on what energy drinks do to your gut lining and the bacteria um, that you have in your microbiome, and it significantly um, harms and increases digestive stress. So if you're like uh, super addicted to caffeine, find a way to come off it slowly, because if you don't, you're just going to keep experiencing, um, I guess, acne, because your gut is never going to be fully restored. And I was like that too. Um, I'm off of I'm off of any caffeine. Pretty much, I was someone who drank at least like 2 or 3 cups of coffee per day, and I also experienced stomach issues going with it as well. So I would say to come off it as best as you can and bring it down to a minimal, because you're only increasing more and more stress when the idea is to rest and heal.
Yeah, and if you're getting used to just drinking coffee every day, even just a something to tone it down, maybe green tea, it'll help with that little focus and also won't give you that kind of rise and crash that caffeine gives you. Caffeine is a diuretic, so all the water that you're absorbing within your gut is going to be released through your digestive system because of the caffeine. So that's some of the nutrients that you need within your gut to stay healthy. So that's also affecting your acne on in the long run.
And another thing about caffeine, and I need to look into it a little more. Um, apparently, there's this guy called Varys, and he was explaining how caffeine not only is something that provides like kind of a false sense of energy, it also like is draining of the life force. And the life force is like something or like a principle seen in Chinese medicine. The life force is called qi, and if you are consuming something like caffeine that is draining the life force, then you're gonna see um, deficiency and issues in many of your body systems, specifically your endocrine system. And endocrine health is one of the main pillars of uh, if you're gonna get acne or not. Like I was saying, the three main ones were your immune system, um, your endocrine system, and then also your gut bacteria as well. So, if your endocrine system is messed up because you're draining your body of its critical life force by consuming something like caffeine, then that's a clear sign that you should stop and really fix things. Because once you do, you'll notice that you have way more energy than you ever did with caffeine. And using it periodically, like sometimes here or there, like uh, if you're really needing it, if you're super tired or drained and you just have to get something done, then maybe as a last resort you could use it. But that also shouldn't be something that you're normally using.
Yeah, if you want something like that, get a calm focus. Like I said, get drink jasmine tea. That's one of my favorites.
I would think
Jasmine
even
tea.
he even said like teas were not even preferred as well. Maybe herbal teas, but
Yeah,
nothing
like
like black or green tea is also like pretty high
yeah,
energy.
but in those certain times where say you're cramming for an exam or you just really don't have the timing down, um, tea is definitely a better version of what coffee is going to give you. So if you're looking for an alternative, tea can definitely be there for you. Um, yeah,
Yeah, and like try to minimize it. If you want to drink tea, drink like a herbal tea, like a peppermint or just for or peppermint. There's like rosemary tea, things like that that are either decaffeinated or have no caffeine content at all. and you can just drink it for enjoyment or the other benefits that certain tea has. But don't don't use it as a daily source of energy because you're only gonna have to undo all the damage that you're like currently doing.
Yeah, and I was thinking about when we were used to play soccer in high school and around that age. Sometimes I felt like my energy was off, and I was getting acne as well. There were several different factors that played a role to it, but I really feel like during that time, I don't know about you, but during that time, I really wasn't thinking at all about anything that I was consuming. I was just uh, go have dinner, have lunch. That never really was a thought to me that my diet could be really affecting all these points. But I feel like if I was to go back, that would be the main thing that would affect my performance as a player, even as a human being. That's something um, that I really would like to implement, and I'm changing it now. But also having that caffeine as well. Drinking caffeine later in the day is something that uh, I feel like a lot of kids do growing up and probably should be would be their energy would be way better um, uh, without it. So if you're playing a sport, especially, please focus on your gut health and also the caffeine that you're consuming throughout the day. You're going to have much better performance, and you're going to be a lot better athlete as well.
And I think the last thing that I kind of have to or think is really important when it comes to acne is getting the proper nutrition and vitamins and minerals in. And that's something that you can't really do easily with a damaged gut. So eating healthy or having the assumption that you can harvest all of the nutrients and minerals just from food is false. You need to be incorporating light, incorporating easy foods like bone broth, and then you also need to be incorporating supplements, especially supplements that are in their most bioavailable form or um, easy to use form for your body. And you can just type in like most bioavailable, um, I guess, vitamin C. You could do most bioavailable magnesium, things like that, and just uh, look up what are the nutrients that most people are deficient in and see if you are, and you can go with that. Or you can, I guess, make life a lot simpler for yourself and just get a multivitamin. I have a bunch of supplements up on my shelf over here, and one of them includes a multivitamin. You can get almost all of your daily RDAs for micronutrients just from something like a multivitamin, but make sure it's a good, trustworthy one that's pretty bioavailable. Other things I would suggest are fermented foods. So you're supporting um, the growth of healthy bacteria in your gut, and healthy or in good bacteria actually are able to break down or quote unquote eat the bad particles or toxins that are uh, lining your gut. So having something like kimchi one from Bright Core Nutrition is gonna really help um, uh, your gut's ability to absorb and then also break down what's not supposed to be in there. And if you're not really sure what you're deficient in, or you want to be kind of hypercritical about uh, what supplements you want to buy and things like that, go get some lab tests done and work with um, like an integrative medicine or like a functional medicine doctor, because they'll know how to interpret all of those labs and give you uh, good medical professional advice on how to address the root causes of all your problems. And even though like you may have started or initiated with those doctors just for acne, you'll probably realize that many more aspects of your life are going to be improving by just simply looking at lab tests and seeing what you're deficient in and addressing those causes so you don't have them anymore. You can really see a lot of good things happen for your health. And in some really rare cases, you can have um, parasites or other uh, relatively rare situations that you maybe didn't know about before. And it's always good to get some lab tests done and see what's like really going on because you're only guessing uh, you're only going to be guessing for so long until you finally know what's actually going on.
Yeah, and like one example was one of the fighters actually yesterday that was competing in the UFC, RDR, or his last name's DeRitter. I'm not sure if one of you guys, anybody knows who it is, but he was one of the fighters on the main card. And the president of the UFC, Dana White, was like, this guy didn't look like he wanted to be there. He didn't look the same and things like that. And he was a former champion from another organization, so he should have done well, especially against the person he was fighting. But later to find out that he actually said in the interview after the fight that he had a really low red blood cell count, and that was after all the lab tests were done before, and he realized that was something that could affect his performance. So, getting all these lab tests done and things like that could really play a role in how you perform as an athlete, or even how you go from your day to day basis. So, getting the lab test will really give you a kind of like a base of maybe not deficient in this, or maybe I need a little more of that, so get an idea of what you need, and we can guide you in the right direction from at Healing Way.
Yeah, because everyone is gonna have their own specific protocol that they need to follow. Um, a lot of times there are one size fits all solutions. I think from the suggestions we've given you today, by eating or consuming things like bone broth, um, supplements to make sure you're not deficient in everything. Like usually, like I said, a multivitamin should do. Um, Also, cooking your starches properly. I For starches and vegetables, I would uh, not bake or fry them at all until you really feel like you're confident in being able to digest those. So sticking to steamed vegetables and steamed or boiled starches, nothing spicy, nothing triggering, finding your triggers, um, avoiding them, or trying to introduce them slowly and slowly so you're not um, prone to being triggered by them anymore is going to probably take you uh, a pretty long way or far away with treating your acne. But if you, I guess, want to go that uh, extra maybe 20-30%, then doing lab tests is probably what's going to get you uh, the maximum result. And anything else you have to say or suggest?
No, I think we can just go over like kind of the things that people should add if they're having acne or things like that. I think, like you said, the bone broth, having a high collagen diet, and improving your gut on the at the baseline, not just treating the acne as like I said, a sickness, or something like that. You should focus on what really is causing those issues at the base, like improving your gut health by eating these nutritious foods, but that are not only nutritious but are the right foods that will put you in the right direction. And also getting exercise, like we said, being able to get your sunlight and grounding, especially in a time like this where the sun is out, and I guess people are going to be actually. I feel a lot more upbeat and I don't know, energized the fact that the sun's out and it's a lot warmer. So enjoy it while it lasts, uh, And I think get some exercise, maybe run outside, play a little soccer, do something that you really like to do. That will really help your blood circulation as well as secreting all the toxins that are built up in your body.
Oh, also one other important thing, be a clean person. Don't be like a dirty person, like um not washing anything, not taking showers, not doing that because that's like one of the also easiest ways for you to start having overgrowth of certain things or infections. Just be clean. Don't be a filthy person because that'll that'll show up in your body and on your skin specifically. So to
Yeah.
actually answer the final question or the question that is the title of this video, acne is not something that is normal. Um, when you look at pictures of people from years ago, you would see that acne was never really prevalent. Um, the two things specifically, acne and then hair, like people had full and thick hair, and they also had flawless skin. And now you see that those are like two of the main problems in modern day society, which were things that we never had before. So that means that the modern environment has kind of set us up to have all of these issues, and that you need to take some precautions and do some things so you are bringing back more of what was going on um, in the environment back in those days. And even when I look at people now, like people who are, say, maybe in their 40s and above, I never really see any crazy acne or any acne at all. The people who I see the most amount of acne on are um, teenagers and people in their 20s or early 30s. That's like the main population that I see have acne. Usually anyone above yeah, the 40s range specifically, usually I see has like pretty flawless skin, no hyperpigmentation, no marks, no, literally nothing. They pretty much have perfect skin, and I don't think they really have any crazy routines or do anything over the top special to maintain their health or their skin health.
Yeah, and like you said, being clean, we talked about a lot. The gut health is really important and kind of a direct path to success in terms of clearing your acne. But even just thinking about, oh, I just worked out. I'm gonna take a shower right away when I get back, or right before you go to sleep, because if you don't go to shower before you go into bed, all that bacteria that's stuck on your body from the outside or the outside environment is going to be stuck to your pillowcase and your sheets or whatever it is, and you're doing that over and over again, or even just once will really just keep the bacteria on your pillowcase. So sleeping with it, turning around all over your face with the bacteria is really just going to cause a lot of stress to your outside skin membrane. And it will
And your
affect
skin, it's gonna absorb it. Your skin absorbs things like really, really quickly. So if you have um, or if you are filthy, everything that's on your skin is gonna be absorbed super quickly, and that's like the number one way how people get things like staph infections are because they go to training or something like um, jujitsu where like you're on the mats and you're like really close contact with people, and you come home, you don't shower, then boom, you got a staph infection just because weren't being um, you weren't being responsible and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, this stuff doesn't have to be like, "Oh my god, I gotta do this right now, like, I gotta take a shower right away," but you should be mindful that if you're gonna go to sleep and roll into bed with all your stinky clothing and things like that, it's just gonna cause an issue in the long run. And like we said about absorbing all the bad bacteria on your skin, like when you get a kind of like a moisturizer or whatever it is, everything gets absorbed quickly, and comparing that to like say somebody that has a lot of makeup on and they're using makeup every day in the morning and things like that, that can also really affect what your skin's absorbing in, and it's taking all of the toxins and the things that are being put on, all that powder and things like that, should really be avoided in the long run. And you should only really use it when you're, I don't know, so say when you're going out somewhere or whatever it is. Um, really avoiding those things that are actually really just toxic and there's no nutritional benefit, obviously. So that can affect you getting acne as well.
Yeah, and hopefully this video was helpful for you, and that you guys, if you have acne, you can start on your journey right now and implement all of these things and suggestions that we have given to you guys.
Yeah,
And
and
thank you. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to say, after this whole podcast, even this is the first time me wearing these blue light block glasses, but I still feel pretty good, same as I first started the podcast. So that's another little quick review, But we'll kind of just everybody once they get their glasses, we'll keep you checked in with how it's working for us and things like that.
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully, I get mine in soon before
Mm.
the next podcast. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning with us in today's episode, Champions of Wellness, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
See you guys.